Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is an early morning for me. And yeah, I mean, just let's see if there's, London session has anything to bring to us. We already have a sweep of the previous daily high on NQ. Um, nice little divergence there with ES as well. And so I think, these sessions, these overnight sessions, we've been getting some action. So I wouldn't be completely shocked if we were to see something move here today. How is everyone doing? How is everyone's morning? Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you guys coming by. It is an early morning for me, so what's up, Monique? What's up, one guy? How are you? I'm shocked to see I'm shocked to see the London session. Yeah, it is a little bit earlier for me, but that's okay. Good morning, Chris. How are you? Again, I don't want to keep saying morning because I feel like I just like kind of going slightly insane. But let's take a look at what NQ has to offer today. So first and foremost, we've already set the previous daily high. You have a SMT divergence with ES, which means that ES failed to take that high. We dropped onto an hourly chart, and interestingly enough, I do think we end up going for some internal lows today. Sweep at the previous daily high. You're getting a closure below this 239 level, which I would like to see at least for some sort of continuation to the downside. let me get my drawings in order right about there. And I do think that either the 193 or the 145 level would be kind of logical to ask for today. Good morning, Anthony. Good morning, Jeremy. Good morning, Chris. Oblivious Cat. Uh, Zaza, how are you? Anyways, how's everyone's morning? What time is it for you guys? What time is it for you guys? I am in Eastern time, so. But I did say that I would cover the 11th session. I want to be committed. So let me just write these notes down. So previous daily high. Put that on the right. And then let me just plot the current 4-hour opens. There we go. 1 to be 1 p.m. It's 09 in Holland, not too early. Nice. Okay, so here I've plotted the 4-hour opens of the previous 4-hour candles and the current 4-hour candle. And as you can see, that on this 4-hour chart as well, we had a sweep of the previous 4-hour candle at, so the 10 p.m. swept out the initial opening 4-hour candle. 9 a.m. here too. Oh, well, good morning to you guys. I'm glad I can be the first. I'm glad I could be the first interaction that you guys have in the morning, you know? I'm like a cup of Joe. Good morning, address. Yeah, I hope you guys are having a great, I guess, a great morning wherever you are. What time is it there? It is about to be 3 in the morning. So it's currently 2:54 a.m. 2:54 a.m. Anyways, let me actually plot this open, and that should cover perfect. That's just the angle that I want. So currently NQ is at basically even for the day. Yes, the same. YM is slightly lower than the rest. We can take a look at YM here. You can see it had a nice little spike overnight. Uh, or sorry, yesterday morning, and then overnight it has just kind of been consolidating and dying off. ES in a similar situation, just a tight range here starting from 2 p.m. Then we had that 1 p.m. High, 2 p.m. from yesterday. So we've just kind of been consolidating here. If we take a look at a couple of other assets here, let's take a look at gold. Gold is in a similar situation as well. Let me actually delete that. That's what I had as an original take profit from yesterday. And gold is on a similar boat. And funny enough, and interestingly enough, gold and risk on assets, or I guess indices, have been kind of tightly knitted. They've been tightly knitted. 854. Nice. Yeah. They've been tightly knitted. That means that gold and NQ have actually been kind of moving in a similar manner. And let me kind of show you guys what I mean by that. If I plot the current hourly chart for NQ and I plot the hourly chart for gold, you guys are going to see exactly what I mean. So if you head over towards here, you split these panels and then you just put up GC and then the same chart. Take a look at this. Sorry, let me right there. You can see that we had an early consolidation this year, a spike on Thursday, and now gold is obviously slightly weaker and it failed to continue into this high, whereas opposed to NQ is actually a seeking that continuation into those highs. So gold might actually be the weaker asset here, relatively comparing. Am I interested in gold shorts? I actually kind of am. What about you guys? Are you guys looking for anything in particular? Is there anything that you're seeing? Did you just wake up? Are you just now looking at the charts? Like what? Run me through your guys' European morning routine. The European morning routine. Should you be sleeping at this time? I should. That's okay. This is just a once in a lifetime opportunity. So, and funny enough, Thursday, Friday. So Thursday actually swept Wednesday low, but from a 4 hour perspective, this is kind of what I'm seeing. Mm. For my idea is TGIF on indices and look to wait for the reaction on gold for previous daily high. I want longs on NQ when we inverse this 5-minute IFEG. Okay, fair, fair, fair. Oh, I see. Is this the one that you're looking at? Is this one here from 240? Cube, how are you? Yo, Cube, what time is it for you? Yes, indeed. Nice. That actually makes sense. It's logical. I wouldn't oppose it. So 258, just about 1 minute and 15 seconds before the 3 a.m. opening price comes around. Uh, I I I wouldn't be opposed to gold shorts, but I don't think they're particularly in an area that I would look to short at. And let me explain to you guys why. You do have this 4 hour internal sweep of the 10 p.m. swept the 6 p.m. candles low. So the basis for some longs here wouldn't be horrible because you would be looking at this as your order block. But the thing is, I am just kind of leaning short bias, but maybe because I'm marrying the idea of what I'm seeing on the daily. Price respects it first. When it's disrespected, it becomes a support and resistance. Like almost 3 a.m. Nice cube. Then why are you telling me that you be sleep? Funny man. Um, Let me get rid of some of these drawings here. Funny. I'm in NQ shorts. I hope London doesn't pop. LOL. This man. Yeah, how does everyone do on Fridays? Like how do you guys, Ralph? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, we met I guess briefly. Not really briefly. We had dinner together actually. Um, but yeah, I've only met him like twice. I trade his system. Nice, bro. I thought you live in the US. Why are you trading? Because we're dedicated to the craft, brother. Overall break even. Overall break even. Hmm. Yeah, how do you guys do on Fridays? Like, talk to me. Do you guys like Fridays? What's like your favorite? What do you guys have a favorite trading day? Trading day? Sorry. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Friday CPI. I don't know. Wednesday. Fair. Fair. Yeah. Performance wise, I think Tuesdays and Wednesdays are my best days. Let me actually take a look at that right now. Performance wise, it's been a rough start of the month for me. But if I go over to reports and I do reports, day and time, days. So actually, oh, okay, this is interesting. My best days are actually Thursdays, Tuesdays and Thursdays. And then Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then Wednesdays are my worst days, statistically speaking, in terms of profit and in terms of win rate. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, yeah. So Tuesdays and I like Saturdays personally. Never had a losing day on this day. Yeah, 100% win rate on Saturdays. Same. IB range is extremely profitable on Wednesdays. That's interesting. Is that like a statistic? Is this fact? I love midweek reversal. Yeah. Do you guys use like weekly profiles? Do you guys know what I'm talking about? I personally don't use weekly profiles, but um, I do know that some people like to use them because it just makes sense to them. I haven't used weekly profiles in forever. Explain, please. So, a weekly profile is pretty much the way you classify a week. So, if you think about what a classic bi-week looks like, it looks a little like this, right? A classic bi-week is, whoops, a classic bi-week is open, low, high, close. That's what the classic bi-week is. And ideally, this is Monday, Tuesday, and then you see a Thursday or Wednesday expansion, and then this is typically Friday. That's kind of what that looks like. This is kind of like a classic. I trade GXT. Okay. What so what's the difference here between like what is the main differentiating factor? Like what does that mean like GXT? GXT is basically a 4 hour refinement. Okay. So you're just trading the 4 hour candlesticks? 4 hour open handle and close. Garrett's model from the T Trades group. Okay. So we do have a 245, 230, and a 3 o'clock swing here within this internal level. But you also did get a closure below this imbalance. We have a divergence here at all? No, we don't. By the way, if you guys are watching, appreciate any like, any share. The more you guys interact with us and the more feedback that you guys give us, the more information we have because we are always constantly looking to improve uh this show for you guys, honestly. Relies heavily on asset strength switching, SMT divergence, and PSP. Okay. That's interesting. I never really like I don't know what asset strength means or PSP really means for that matter. Like I actually don't. Because in my head, I'm assuming asset strength is just whichever one is leading. But to me, it's like ES in order of significance. It's ES and QYM, you know, because if you guys head over to bar chart, actually, those of you that are curious, if you head over to bar chart, barchart.com, and you just look for ES, you just click on the current contract. Open interest is 1.9 million on ES, and open interest is 251,000 on NQ. So actually, the open interest on ES contracts is actually 4 times that of NQ. And you might be wondering, what does open interest mean? It's the total number of the outstanding contracts that haven't been settled. But if you also take a look at the volume, so the volume on the NASDAQ NQM contract is 36,702. And then if you look at ES, it is 53,998. But the notional value greatly differs. So when you look at it monetarily, and ES just has a higher dollar volume, which means that personally think it carries more weight. It has more directional weight as opposed to NQ. So um, I always tend to think that NQ follows ES typically. Obviously, it can work the other way, but for the most part, that's just how it how I see it. Okay, let's take a look here. Nice little pop here, actually. Earnings. Okay, so we have core CPI or just CPI at 8:30 a.m. Eastern, and then consumer sentiment at 10, but that's just medium impact. Can you guys also just hear me fine? Can everyone just hear me fine? How's my volume? Yep. Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't usually trade this time. Obviously it's less volume than New York Open, but I feel like these last few days we've actually been getting some kind of like some really nice moves for London. Isn't it hella early for you? Yeah, it is. We've just been getting some really, really nice moves for London, I think. Wouldn't be opposed to this idea, but yeah. Hmm. Seems like it doesn't want to budge to the downside. I need to see a closure below. Yep, all good. Are late. It is late, yeah. Any trades yesterday on New York? Yeah, I had two break-even trades and a winning trade yesterday, actually. Nice. I think you get a push here into the 1/8s. I think you get a push here, yeah, into 25,002, 25,218. Or actually, pardon me, into the 200s flat. Because if you start getting below this low, you're just going to go for the 200s flat, in my opinion. What time is it? 3:14. I look at ES, NQ, and YM. Typically, YM and NQ move strongly in opposing directions when there is a divergence, so they tend to be the two assets easiest to monitor for understanding relative strength. What would be your entry? This would be a 50-minute, super the 50-minute high, and then a 1-minute order block. What's your thought process for this trade? Counter trade for free cash. Yeah, I think we get into the 200s flat, to be honest. I just want to see this expand to the downside. Nice, 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 nice. Yeah, I want to see if we can get into the 200s flat so I can close this out. I am in from a little bit lower near the 230, 237, 237.25. So this is actually my entry. But I want to see if I can get us, yeah, I want to see if I can get into this low. Either the 206 or the 174. But I think this makes the most sense. I think we can definitely see some expansion towards the downside as long as this doesn't want to create a range. Mm. What's your thought process for this trade? 206 Asia low makes sense? Yeah, I think so too. What's my thought process? I will tell you. We have a 4 hour swing, which means that we're looking for, so we have 4 hour swing here. We have a 4 hour external. And what do I like to do? I like to pair 4 hour externals with 15-minute internals. That means that the nearest 15-minute internal is this one here at 192. That's the next significant 15-minute internal level. We have a 15-minute swing here formed, which I think we see a continuation on, and a 1 minute order block. So that is my thought process. My only issue is that you stepped out the previous 15-minute low, and this thing seems to want to just seek some upside. It just looks like it wants to range as opposed to seeking an expansion to the downside. CRT. What? I mean, it's just a 4 hour open, idle and close, you know? External, internal, that's pretty much it. What is your confirmation? The 1 minute. Yeah, I think we see the 192s. I don't think it's too far-fetched. I kind of want to go break even at 218. Because then at that point you'd sweep the previous hourly low, and I don't want to be in a position if we sweep the previous hourly low. I really need to see this get a move on, or I'm just going to close this break even. I don't want to be stressed about this at this time. Do they filter out red numbers? That's a good one, actually. They do. Like, I'm basically not vulnerable to red numbers. This thing is just failing to go to catch some sell side. Failing to just catch any sort of sell side here. Not really seeing a continuation. I just want to see some strong downside here. 321. Asia low is a good target. You don't look on sessions? I do look at sessions, but I just look at highs and lows, like significant highs and lows. That's pretty much it. No, no sell side. Just catching some bids. This is quite tedious. I will not lie to you guys. And that's me break even. I am not going to look to stress myself out over this. No continuation whatsoever. Miami has taken the Asia low. Yeah, slow market. That's fair. Expected, right? Got stopped out break even on that on basically the top tick of that high. Yeah, this market just hasn't, and of course it's obviously the session. I'm not blaming the market. I don't want you guys to think that I'm blaming the market, and no, you will never ever catch me blaming the market. I will have an opinion about it, but you guys should never blame the market. The only person that's pressing the buttons is you. So you are fully and thoroughly responsible for all of the decisions that you make uh, within the marketplace. You are the only person. You are the only person pressing the button. Don't get don't ever get in the habit of blaming anything other than yourself. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, I honestly thought we would get a continuation here, but yeah, just really, not really anything. No continuation whatsoever. Would be a clean sell model setup as well. Who knows? Maybe we go for this high and then redistribute lower. We'll see. Do giveaways happen here? Yeah. If we do giveaways, we'll announce them. Looks like it'll be chopping until 1:30 p.m. news. There's a few gamma levels on ES just above Asia low, which is causing the dealer hedging. That's interesting. How long have you been studying options volume for, or options data? A few months. It's all through meant for Q. Nice, man. But yeah, if we ever do giveaways, you would we'll obviously make it known. You guys will know. About a short here now. Do what your heart desires. SMT, yes, sweep and Q not, but waiting for confirmation. Yeah, fair. Always wait for confirmation. Always, always, always. I do think Asia lows are the target. Yeah, I agree with you. But this thing is just not. This to me is like w- one of the worst, honestly, for me is when you have, for example, here a close above an imbalance and the candle that's responsible for the close, you're basically participating in the candle after of the candle that's responsible for the close. And so ideally what you're doing is that you're looking for the open to high to be created on this new candle and then the low. But the thing is, whenever these markets, like whenever we're in these tricky markets, I see that it never takes to tend this, it never takes to take this low of the candle that's swept out or closed below this imbalance. And so now you're just kind of stuck in limbo, right? Because you want to see a continuation to the downside, but the current candle is making an open to high, and now it's just kind of seeking, premium market of this leg. And so now you're just kind of stuck in limbo. So now you have to wait for something to happen. Um, and yeah, that's pretty much it. You have an S&T with Asia lows. I can't listen to you. I can't listen to you. You mean you can't hear me? So it's like, yeah, you have the candle that's responsible for closing below the imbalance, and then you have the candle after that comes the the next one after this one here. And so you're just kind of stuck in limbo. Like I really wanted to see a continuation into these lows because at least like if we had continued into these lows, I knew that maybe a redistribution was in place. But yeah, this thing just went higher. I guess gold is on the same boat. Gold actually reacted off of this hourly OB, or I mean off this 5 minute OB. You have a 4 hour swing on gold, 4 hour internal, which means you're going to be looking for 15-minute external, and the nearest 15-minute external is 4781.9 and then 4793. So anything on gold would look like this. But I'm not really looking to trade this asset. Alex still awake? What's up, Alex? So yeah, good morning to everyone that just joined. Good morning, good morning. Hope everyone's doing really well. Let's see if they want to bring this down here now or yeah, gold long like this wouldn't be horrible. To the nearest 15-minute external. You'd go break even here at 4781. Target this high. Why you use glasses at 3 a.m.? These are just blue light blockers. So I can actually rest in peace when I do go to sleep. I'm actually gonna give these gold longs a shot at a quarter of my risk. And I'll let these play out overnight. But when I wake up, I will let you guys know my entry is 4776.4. I do think these play out, and I do think we go towards that 4793.1. That's my target. My stop is at 4769.3. So yeah, we'll see. I think we get into those highs. I think it makes sense logically for our swing, for our internal 50-minute external, which means that yeah, we would target the 4793s. So I market ordered in 4776.4 here on gold. I'll kind of let those settle overnight. Not much to say on these assets here, apart from, again, just being in kind of like no man's land, really. You actually feel a difference? Yeah, yeah. If I use these before going to sleep, yeah, absolutely. Nice push here. If this does hit, nice little 2.34R. But yeah, I do think we get, again, my orders are placed. Whatever happens, happens. But I do think we get into these highs up here. Let's take a look at CL. So oil is actually kind of recovering to a slight degree. It saw a nice little decline at around 10 in the morning yesterday. But yeah, that we are just in a very news driven market. Excuse me. Excuse me. What's your name? Yeah, I would recommend these, honestly. They actually do make kind of a difference. But yeah. Yeah, I won't be on for too long, game, to be honest with you guys. I won't be on for too long. Good morning, good morning, Mr. Kane. I was locked in. I am locked in some gold longs actually right now at 4776.4. Just looking for this high. 4793.1. So hopefully we just get a push above this high. Or actually, I just want to get above the 4782. That would be nice. Must be nice. It must be nice. But yeah, team, I won't be on for too long. Just wanted to come on here, see if London session had anything to provide for us today. Nice push here by a Q. Starting to get above that imbalance. But yeah, guys, we are also, I think, like 60 subscribers away from 2K. So if you are watching and you haven't been subscribed, Listen, I don't usually ask, but we're not too far. External GLE. External, internal. Yep. Yeah. I mean, that's the logic that I use for all my trades. External to internal or internal to external, vice versa. I basically just pair the time frames, right? Like if I have a 4 hour internal, then I do a 50-minute external, etc. And I'm just using like 4 hour opens, so like 2 a.m., 6 a.m., 10 a.m. Just like very simple structure. But I think simple is best, right? It's easier to track, it's easy to trade, and I can just like look back at it and review if I need to. But yeah, Drace, I do feel a difference, brother. I do feel a difference. These definitely help. That'd be nice. 25,252 on NQ. Are you in on gold? Yeah, yeah. I was just talking about that. Yeah. I have that position open on gold on 4776.4. And I can happily, I'll just drop the screenshot in here. Hopefully you guys can see it. Because I can't, well, I'm just sharing my trading view screen, but let me pull this up. This is the position on gold. So it should be exactly as mentioned here. So that's the position on gold. Not too much risk. And yeah, I'm just looking for that high here. But yeah, I'll be on for a couple more minutes. Again, not too long. Just kind of wanted to see if I was able to catch anything on gold or NQ on the London session. Again, not usually awake for these sessions, but had to lock in for today. 340. Oh, you're seeing a push to the downside here on NQ. Not a big fan because I know that NQ and gold have been kind of correlated lately, weirdly enough, oddly enough. Seeing some downside push there. Yeah. I am kind of bearish going into the New York Open though on NQ, just because of the fact that that previous daily high sweep, that 4 hour swing, like you just have a nice little setup here for some downside. Yeah, not much going on here on NQ, so not much. Maybe we'll get that short move that I actually wanted initially. Oof. Yeah, this thing is moving. Yeah, swept the hourly high. Makes sense. I see. Excuse me. What's your name? That gold trade my way back in my open or my no 706, just like 2 points off. Not a big fan, but we'll let that marinate. We will let that marinate overnight. But yeah, how's everybody doing? How's everyone's morning so far? quiet on the London session, shall we? Yeah, I'll call it here in a few minutes here. Not much for me here. That gold trade seems to be coming back to me. Okay. All right, well, maybe the 5 minute IFPG on is oh shit. Yeah. Whoops. Okay. I think I'm gonna call it here. We'll let that kind of gold trade marinate overnight. We'll see what happens. I am looking for some downside here on NQ for the New York session. So I'll see you guys for the New York session at around 10 a.m. Eastern. That sound good? Sorry, I know I had to cut this short. I know yada yada yada. But uh yeah, not much going on here. I wanted to hop on and see if there was anything happening, but not much going on. Yeah, we'll see if the 25,193s get tagged, which is what I'm looking for. All good things for the stream. Yeah, have a great night. I appreciate all of you. Thanks for stopping by. Again, sorry for the short stream. It is a little bit late for me, but I wanted to hop on and see if there was anything going on here. So yeah, I appreciate all of you. I will talk to you all and see you guys in the New York morning session. Thank you all.